Because I mean, as much as cricket, I think movies is as big,
Yeah,
or
because
even
the
bigger.
odds of actually making it is you have better chance of winning a lottery than actually becoming an actor.
Exactly.
That too with no family
But
backing.
with the lottery, it's either you get it or not. But here it's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
So I never really understood the idea of a path being told. But I was young that I don't know what questions to ask. But I knew that this was not it. Or kuch to hai.
Also in your career, there's blockbusters and there's flops.
There are very few blockbusters actually.
Yeah.
There are only 2 or 3.
How do you deal with both?
How has OTTs impacted this industry to open?
For actors, they're a boon, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there are only, let's say there were 10 films being made every year. Now there are hundreds. And
You also had your fair share of controversy as well
as many as possible.
With fame, there's also female attention comes a lot.
Yeah.
Do you
I
enjoy
thought
it?
fame meant female attention.
But do you
Of
feel,
course I enjoy it.
but do you feel the attention is very superficial?
Today is by Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day to all the single guys who are thinking they're in a relationship. That's what a friend tweeted today. Yeah, but it's not as simple as, oh, you have everything, you'll relax in life. No, you have to work for something. You have to work for something. There is, obviously, as an actor, I need a commercial hit. As an actor, I need to look better. I need better films to come out. I need more people to watch my film. I need more money. It's all there. That's fine. That's what you're working for. That's one part of your life.
Yeah.
But that can't be your first emotion in the morning.
We've had a wide range of guests. We've had actors, we've had movie directors, politicians, and media influencers. But first time we're actually getting an actor on our stage. We got Navdeep over here, renowned.
Tarun also is an actor now.
He's an actor as
He's everything now.
He's everything as well. But Navdeep, welcome to Snarky Devils. So happy to have you. Wanted to mainly discuss about your journey as an actor and what really got you into this particular field, because you don't really have much of a family background in this.
Yeah, no, none of my family members or relatives are in the industry. As a kid, I was always like fascinated with films, like most of us are. Like in our Telugu culture, we can say that festivals and cinemas are really, say festival and cinema is related. It's like if there's a festival, that means we have to go to a film, and then we are very movie crazy people.
Yeah.
So I was always fascinated with films, but one thing growing up as a kid, I never thought I would be doing a 9 to 6 job. Like that was never on the agenda for me. I always thought that whatever is being told as kids to us was not the only thing that existed, and that was only being taught because they were taught that. So I was like, there's more to life than this. Like my dad, when I was in, like let's say 8th or 9th standard, he was like, okay, you're going to IIT, or that's your path. So I never really understood the idea of a path being told. But I was young that I don't know what questions to ask. But I knew that this was not it. Or kuch to hai. Ye nahi hai. This is not the only thing. So that was like, as far as I can remember, that was the one, like I would like to say that I have a lot of alternative thoughts. Like I can tell you like 2 concepts as a kid, like I always had, right? So I used to go to school. I mean, when we used to go to school and everyone used to talk about cricket, like the whole class used to talk about cricket, and I hated it.
That's
Right.
Like I was like, why is everyone only talking about cricket? Yen cricket tappi game leda. Ye sport gurinchi maatlaadu cricket, and then I not developed a hatred about it, but I used to say like I don't watch cricket.
Where was schooling?
Till 7th I was in DAV Dayananda Vedic Public School in Safilguda. After that I was in Brilliant Grammar High School. That's where that was the first school to give IIT foundation from 8th standard. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Through India. So that was where my dad decided that I need to go to IIT.
Okay.
And then the one concept was I was anti-crowd frenzy. Kind of if everyone spoke about it and if everyone liked something or they were like crazy about it, I made it a point that no. Or kuch to hai, this is not it. So that was one concept. And then obviously I was like 9 to 6 jobs and being shown a path and doing that, and then I couldn't see my life happening like that. So basic interest, I was interested in travel. I was interested in like outdoors and stuff. But I was too young to say no to whatever was being like put in front of me, and I didn't know what were the right questions also. So I just took the path that was shown to me. So 8th, 9th, 10th I was in IIT Foundation in Brilliant. And then intermediate first year I got into Delta IIT Foundation, which is like back then it was the third top, I think, Ramaya Krishnamurthy and then Delta. And then second year I went to Vijayawada because I met with an accident in the first year, and life kind of like got very disturbed, and my family was also like they had trouble in business and stuff like that. So they thought I could use a change of place, so they sent me to Vijayawada. So in Vijayawada I was in Nalanda IIT. And we used to watch a lot of movies then, and one movie, I don't remember which movie it was, I went to it and I was on the way back in a rickshaw. And the guy looked at me, turned around, looked at me and said, "Balle unnar babu, meer hero avandi" అన్నాడు.
Oh, nice.
You're destined for.
అవునా అనుకుని హాస్టల్కి వెళ్ళి I was like, అరే ఇట్లా అంటున్నాడు రా అంటే బాగానే ఉంటాను. And then it was Teja garu, my boss, who was who made this entire new path for kids who are not belonging, who don't belong to any families. So he made Uday Kiran and Nitin back then already.
Right.
So and then it used to be like, okay, if a kid wants to go into movies, that means his life is ruined. His time is gone, and then he has to like roam around office, cinema offices with his pictures in hand. And when it was, the way it was depicted in movies was also like that. Cinema loki veltunadante inka matash word life annattuga. So
sorry, our Telugu is
No, mine is not bad.
his is not,
but you're getting the
I understand.
So matash is matash in any
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
So
You did not, did you end up giving the IIT exam?
Yeah, I did. Bro, I wrote all the exams. IIT, MSET, AEEE,
Oh, wow.
TSET, KSET.
And you were in the 80 percentile, I believe.
Till 10th class I was in 86 actually. In 10th I scored in 86. After that, see, intermediate first year I was given a lot of freedom suddenly.
Yeah.
Because what happened was Delta was, I'll tell you exactly why my education went sideways. So when I didn't actually get into Delta, but they pulled some strings and I was just in the border of the entry percentage. So there were two batches. One was morning 5:30 to 8:30 a.m. and one was 4:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Yes.
So I told my dad, okay, fine. Till 10th I was fine. Like I was like
5:30
scoring
is
86
your
and all of that. 86%, and it was decent. Like my mom always, I knew that I was not studying throughout the year. I was not like studious, but whatever I learned, whatever I heard, I could like decently, grasp it. And then just before the exams, I used to like do some, spend some time and score like 80, 85. I was not really like every day like getting into it. Like a lot of mischief since I was a kid. So yeah, I asked my dad, and then he said, no, 5:30 to 8:30 in the morning is where it's called the Brahma Muhurtam.
Right.
And the brain is very active, and then whatever is told to you will
absorb
directly into your brain, and that's when I want you to go. But he didn't realize that I had trouble staying up. So I used to wake up at 4:35, take wash my hair and take a bath every day morning, and then go to Delta IIT and fall asleep in the class. And obviously stand up on the bench, get out of the class, stand outside. All this embarrassment started, and I said, okay.
Were you the class clown?
Before I became the class, because all these other kids were like extremely like studious and stuff.
Yeah, you would have been like the person
And there was
out.
no relation beyond that, right? 5:30 to 8:30, 3 or 4 classes, and that's it. And after that, they gave, it was affiliated to another college where, see, these kids are studying for IIT. They can't waste time coming to intermediate school. Intermediate college. So that was the option that was given. So all of these kids were like just going home and studying a lot, because intermediate, just going to inter classes would waste their time. So I got a lot of time, 5:30 to 8:30, and then all days free. My dad my dad went to his industry. My mom works in the defense. They only came home at 7 p.m. And I was living in back then we were staying in this place called DD Colony next to Usmani.
Yep, we know that.
And they gave me a bike. Now tell me what will happen in intermediate first year.
Girlfriends?
Everything. Movies. RTC Crossroad was only like 10-15 minutes away from there. And that academic year, every movie that released, I watched at least for 4 or 5 times, and it all went sideways.
Yeah.
So maybe I would have studied, at least, not that bad, but by then it went sideways.
Wow.
And I see that the passion is absolutely there since you were a child. and like you knew that
On
you
what? Is the question.
on not being a conformist.
Yeah, that is it. That is it,
Yeah, that ways I could see it. Like you're not one of those who conform.
Yeah.
But one thing you said was like you did not want to go towards something that everybody went through.
Yeah.
Went through. But movies is such a big thing that everybody still watches. I mean, what attracted you to it and made you go towards it? Like because I mean, as much as cricket, I think movies is as big.
Yeah,
or
because
even
the
bigger.
odds of actually
Yeah.
making it is you have a better chance of winning a lottery
Yeah,
than actually becoming an
Yeah,
actor.
exactly,
That too with no
exactly.
family
But
backing.
with the lottery, it's either you get it or not. But here it's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
That's also true.
No, I mean, as concept wise, no. I mean, if we had to relate it to movies now, we can say that there are a bunch of movies that everyone likes, but I don't like. That concept came like that. Not just
Sure.
the industry as a whole,
Sure.
but just because everyone likes it, or like I might not like movies,
Yeah.
some movies. Like
Yeah.
that.
But I have a question, like, so getting it, like, it's so different because before I used to always say, okay, an actor has so many takes he can just do. But I'm realizing with time talking to more actors that there's an art to it because you are not only just reading out lines and pretending to be someone else, it's so much more deeper.
Yeah.
The art of being an actor because you have to have somewhat of a more neutral personality and then whatever
To
the
grasp and to get into the skin of the character.
Yeah.
Do you
So-
have a process?
Yeah.
Do you have
I mean, for the kind of films I have done as of now,
Yeah.
it wasn't that intense, I
Yeah.
can say. But yes, I have done some intense roles. But for me, as of now, I
Yeah.
didn't feel that challenged as
Right.
of now. But physically, yes, some films. I mean, when we have to do, you have to be in a certain shape, look a certain way.
Yeah.
As of now, the roles I've done, more than mentally being challenged, I was physically being challenged only as of now. But I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward for some roles, like for example, Love Mowgli,
Yeah.
the film that I'm doing right now. So this kid is an abandoned kid who lived by himself his
Right.
entire life.
Right,
So
right.
that was like I had some. Not a process, but there was a lot of thought. Not a physical process, but physical process also.
Yeah.
But there was a slight mental process to get into and be in a certain mood the entire day. Yeah.
And what I also see is like you said that you come from a very regular background, and then suddenly to have this kind of attention, and and it must be so tough, right? Like it's like you said, like you work for maybe half the year and not half the year,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have the attention and not have the attention.
Yeah.
Is it really mentally like challenging?
That is the hardest part of being an actor,
Yeah.
and that's where I've seen most of my counterparts lose their shit.
Yeah.
They lose the plot.
Yeah.
They 100% lose the plot, because imagine, like, for my life,
Yeah.
which has happened to others. Like, I was 17 when I came in.
Right.
And the director Teja Garu, before that he made two superstars like Uday Kiran and Nitin were like all over the place. They were like
Correct.
they were the they were the first Tarun after Tarun, like during that time.
Yeah.
They were the only like superstars who were not related to any families. So and they almost like went like all the way to the top suddenly with like few films.
Yeah.
So imagine a 17-year-old kid like having the same platform, like knowing that before you someone like you came and then this happened to them and you are next in line.
Yeah.
So the things that were told to me was during the shoot, and then that was one of the biggest budget films that happened then, that he did with newcomers.
Right.
Like Jay was my film, which
Yeah.
we started in
Yeah.
2003. And they were like, at the climax was shot for like 15 days. There were like 200-300 people. No, I think more than 600 people.
Wow.
And I was the hero and all of that. And then I was told that, listen, before the film is about to release, you're going to get boxes of money to your house. Don't take it, okay? And all that shit, all that stuff was said to me. So I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So it's a very dicey
Yeah.
scenario. And then 17-year-old, and then you see what might happen to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in my case, what happened that the film released and it didn't do well.
Okay.
And then suddenly till like let's say it released on a particular day, till
Yeah.
the scene just before that day was something else, and after that day it was completely something else.
Right.
Back then I was sitting at home and I was like, okay, now what to do? Now whatever they told me is not going to happen. I mean, it's obvious. And then we were like, and then it was when I wrote my all this MSET, IIT
wow.
and all of that. So it was during my break.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I wrote all the exams, and before the results come, we have like those 4 or 5 months, right?
Sure, yeah.
So that's when I finished the movie.
Yeah.
And then now you don't know what to do. Are you going to, like, obviously I didn't get into IIT, and then we were like, okay, now should I join engineering or do what? And even my parents did not know, right? Obviously they had, because it was Tejagaran, they said yes, because he was the man who just made some superstar just before. But now what to do?
Yeah.
And I was posed with the question then, and we didn't know what to do, but my parents knew we got some good advice saying that, okay, forget the result of this film, but this fellow is okay. He did a decent job. I think you should continue.
Yeah.
And then I continued. And the second film was by a director who gave Nagarjuna Garu's biggest hit of his career.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then that was my second film, and then
Right.
that was also good. There was also like a lot of, and it was a musical hit, and then they also shot with a lot of budget, and there were like songs and everything. It was a proper like a commercial film, because in Jay I was playing like a, the character was like an underdog. He was a rich kid, but he was an underdog, not really like all the way out there. But this film was more about, he is the, the chichora of the campus,
Correct,
and then
correct.
he, all the bikes and the songs and the
Yeah.
girls and everything. And then that was like, okay,
Yeah.
now we have a hero image.
Yeah.
That film flopped.
Oh no.
That film flopped. And then the third film, I was like, okay. But then I was like, okay. By then I knew that, okay, I can, like, it was not about taking a decision anymore. Now I was like, okay, I was in
This
it.
is the process. Yeah, you have to go
Process,
through it.
I'm
Yeah.
in this. And then the third film was slightly an experimental film for stories back then. But the promotions were off the hook. Like, that when that movie came out, every hoarding in Hyderabad had me on it.
Oh wow.
Every hoarding.
Wow.
Then I was like, okay. But I had my doubts on that film, and that film didn't do really. So it was like for every, and I was 17, 18, 19
That's
then.
insane. I mean.
So luckily for me, I would say, I didn't hit the spot back then, because I didn't know what I would be. Like, maybe I would definitely not be, like, I would like to call myself mentally sorted now, but that obviously took a lot of time.
Yeah.
It took me 34 years of my life to understand what I want, or what kind of person I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but that was like, coming back to the question, like being an actor and then being in this industry, like you said, like there is money, there is fame, and this is a blessed life.
Yeah.
Everybody wants this life.
Correct.
There's
Yes.
there's no denying that.
Yes.
In this also, like there are, let's say if there are 10 actors of different, let's say different, in different positions
Yes.
of an actor.
Yes.
Each one is better off than the other one in a certain way.
Right.
And it keeps changing for every film.
Sure.
It keeps changing for every city you are in.
Sure.
Like now it's all pan-India. So there is always a better spot to be.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Right.
No matter who you are. Even if you are the Khan of the
Khan,
industry in
yeah.
2023,
Yeah.
still you might have, like, you'll suddenly be like, "Arey, what is this RRR? Where are these people coming
come from? Exactly.
Like, for example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
there is always a better spot to be, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So that I realized at some point that, boss, you first figure out your own head, within your own head, and then you can always be better. But if you are always like, thinking that, oh, mere ko ye nahi hai, I need that, then you will never be at peace.
Right.
That's what I understood. And that took me a lot of time. That took me almost like 17 years of my film career as an actor to understand. But that, boss, it's not about what you have or where you are. It's about how you're feeling, and just calm down, relax.
And in this journey, did you have a mentor or somebody who was there to guide you in this process?
So the
It's
reason
not
I
easy.
took, it's not easy. The reason I took so long is because probably I didn't have a mentor or someone I could share with.
Yeah.
So I had this, I was always thinking that I'm an introvert.
Right.
Introvert as in, I don't know, not exactly introvert, but I was like, I'm strong enough to deal with my own shit.
Right.
So I don't need to ask anyone. Not that I know everything. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, oh, what,
I don't want to be vulnerable.
I was thinking that, but then that also didn't turn out well, because you don't talk to anyone, like, what's going to happen? You're going to build a lot of
That's
trauma
true.
inside of
That's
you.
true.
So I had a very, like, a lengthy, slow mental journey, I can say, but thank God now I'm okay.
But like also in your career, there's blockbusters and there's flops.
There are very few blockbusters actually.
Yeah.
There are only 2 or 3.
How
They're
do
more
you
famous
deal
people.
with both?
So I had this. I was thinking that to survive in this industry, I need to keep doing something. So
Yeah.
I was picking the best of what was offered for a really long time, and then I realized that it's not going to work like that because now things are different. Because I mean, in my like since 2003 when I started 2004, the way films are being made has changed a lot, and the way actors are coming in changed a lot. It's not the same. Obviously, it's not the same in any industry anymore. But then it was like more about survival. Like, अरे कुछ नहीं करेगा तो people will forget you kind of scenario. But now it's different. Now like even like if you're talented and if you have done a short film and people have seen it and liked it, you can come make a movie now. So now the industry is quite open, and then the doors are all open, and it's all about, do you have talent or not? If you have talent, you make a movie. You make a movie with a small camera, put it on YouTube. Obviously, you'll get a movie. So back then it wasn't like that. No, you have to be like, you have to survive. You have to keep doing something. People will forget you. All this were being told to me. So I picked a lot of bad films because I thought I had to do them.
Yeah.
Like I had to like, अगर नहीं करेगा तो भूल जाएंगे. So now it's kind of different. Now I want. Back then it was quality,
And plus,
quantity.
how do you know also it's going to be a bad film? When you read a script and you're filming, you don't know at the end editor is going to do what.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that need to come together, but the base intention of what story you want to narrate and is the director and you as a lead actor are on the same boat or not. Those are the primary things that you would see now. But back then I did a lot of films because I was too scared to say no. Like not even scared, I would say, that's not the right word, but I would say if there is a big guy who's believing in a story and wants to make it with me, I was thinking, who am I to say no?
Exactly.
Or who am I to, what experience or judgment do I have to say, "Arey nahi bhai, ye nahi kaam karega." So a lot of films were there, in fact. In fact, they were about, if I count right now, at least 25-30% or more actually, 40% of the films that I thought wouldn't, they were not great, they wouldn't do well, I had to do them. Like I just did them. Not that someone forced me. It was my own like shortcoming, obviously, but I was like, "Arey, these people are making this film and I'm just a beginner, and then how can he say no?" And some films, when the first day of the shoot, sometimes something is narrated to you and you visualize it in certain way, and you go to the set and see it, and then you're like, "Ye to gaya. Ye to number day one gaya. This is going to the next." Yeah, there have been a lot of situations, and then some films like the producers get in between, and then they were like, "No, we'll do something else." So, like I said, I was thinking I was too small of a guy to say no or.
But in retrospect,
foot
if
down.
you look back today, if you had a chance to go back, would you still do those bad films or?
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
No, but
I
like
was-
it helped frame you as what you are today. That experience also in some way.
mentally yes, but I would have been here only without those 10 films also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should have known better, obviously. But not that I don't. I have done a lot of mistakes, obviously, but I don't beat myself up about it because I didn't know better and no one knew to tell me better. Now I know, so it's up to me now what I do. So all that is good experience only for me. I'm not going to sit here and say I should have done better. I didn't know better. You have to excuse the child in you, no?
Yeah,
What
of
else
course,
can you
of
do?
course, of
To
course.
live, you learn, of course.
Yeah, you have to learn. But in your opinion, you've been in the industry for so long. How has OTTs impacted this industry to open?
For actors, they're a boon, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there are only, let's say there were 10 films being made every year. Now there are hundreds. And also there's a lot of work in OTT. So even if you see in Hindi, like see, what happens is, what I believe in is, if an actor comes on screen and does a good film or is accepted and liked by the people, that's not going to change.
Right.
What is going to change is if he's doing bad films,
Yes.
and then the market is not supporting him,
Right.
then the makers are not going to make films with him. But not that the audience have changed their opinion because of his films.
Got it.
Once you see, like that's why, let's say, for example, like if I may, Arvind Swami Garu did a film really long back, Roja. After that he did a few films.
Yeah.
And after that he had a very long gap and whatever for his personal reasons. But he came back and did a film called Thaniya Rohan and Dhruva.
Yeah.
People love him.
Yeah, they
and now
do.
he's back
Yeah.
doing films.
Yeah.
So my point is, once people accept and agree and like you as an actor,
Right.
you are always going to be there. Now, how many films will you do? Are the films going to make money? All of this depends on your choice and different market scenario.
Correct.
So the OTT changed that.
Yeah.
So when you're OTT and it's not that commercial and it's not about how much this film is going to be, how much we can invest on an actor and what is going to come back. It's not that anymore.
Yeah.
So in OTT, it's more about, does this actor fit the bill?
Yes.
This role needs this actor, and what kind of image he has, and will people watch him or not?
Correct.
Because no one, it's not like directly paying for that film anymore.
Not
So I think for actors it's definitely a boon, and for creative people also it's a boon, because when you're making a film for the theaters, you need to think about the commercial format of it, and you can't make niche films, let's say,
Yeah.
because theater has capacity of 100.
Yeah.
You're making with a certain cost to fill those 100 seats.
Correct.
You have to think about making a film that is accepted and liked by at least 80 or 70% of those 100 seats.
Sure.
Or else if there's only 10 or 20 people watching that niche film,
Yeah.
it's not going to make money. Now that entirely changed with OTT. No?
Yeah.
You can make anything. You can make a point on anything, because now there are 1,000, 10,000 people sitting at home and watching, and they're not judging you for, I am not spending so much time, I have to go, and all this is gone. So if they like, at least like, if it's a niche film, you're sticking to a genre, you're honest to a story, and then they like it, that's all. So I think it's definitely boon for the creative part
Yeah.
and the actors also.
Is it bad in any way? Would you say it's bad in any?
It doesn't seem like that, because in between during COVID and after COVID, post COVID,
Yeah.
there was a lot of discussion happening about OTTs are killing the theaters, people are not coming to the theaters, but that changed again with a lot of films.
Also, a lot of people, like a lot of actors in the beginning were kind of like, oh, I don't want to go to the silver screen, I want to be on
That's
that.
what they thought. Even now I've heard some people saying, I don't want people to watch my films with but I think that's...
It's changed now.
And what has happened according to me is the kind of films that are going to the big screen has changed. Now there is a clear, differentiation about, okay, this film I can watch it on TV at home. This film I have to watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
of
is a
course.
distinction.
Like if you make me an RRR, make me an Avatar, make me a KGF, I will go to the theater and
Yeah.
watch, and the numbers are speaking for itself.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Pathan.
Pathan,
Yes. Yes.
And there is like something, there are OTT films where equally big stars are there, but it's a different genre, and then you can watch it at home. So I think people are very clear about that differentiation now, and the makers are also like, we had to adapt. Obviously, previously you can make, like there's only one more mode called the theater, you have to go there and watch. Now, but now the thought process have changed, and obviously there is more pressure now to bring people to the theater, so the thought process also changed, and I think overall the quality is increasing, no?
It has,
the numbers.
definitely.
Yeah.
Also, like in the industry which we're in, there's always this topic about Hindi cinema versus South Indian regional language cinema. And one thing for me, I'm from Rajasthan, so I see it as an outsider's perspective. I just see that there's much more creative scripts and movies being done in the South, whereas the North Hindi belt tries to be a little bit more safe and just puts a star and builds the whole movie around that one star.
Yeah, my theory towards that is, I think, maybe wrong. Bombay filmmakers, the thought process and the intention and the kind of stories they wanted to tell revolved around Mumbai's culture.
Okay.
There were some people who made pan-Indian films. When we say pan-Indian films, according to me, so the South has a lot of hardcore Indian emotion which worships the hero, and then there is a lot of Ramayana kind of scenario where, okay, you touch my girl, I'll come bash you up or
One
something
guy
like
beats up 1,000 people.
But if you see the kind of films in Hindi, they were trying to push the boundary on niche subjects like
Karan Johar stuff.
so they were not really universal, I think.
Okay.
So that's where I think we could say that
Like, for example, like
the 100 crore like started with Wanted, Gajini. So it started back then only, according to me, because that they were more hero worshipping. I mean, we are more in South. We made films like that. So so I think that was one major, not a drawback, but I would say like a gap that they had. But right now, I think it's.
But like, for example, this movie which just shook all of India was Kantaram.
Yeah,
I don't think Kantaram would ever been greenlit in Bollywood directors table.
Yeah,
So-
also like universally India, see, our cultures are different. Every 200 kilometers, the dialect changes in the language. There are more than 100 languages, all of this. So people want to see more more
Small pockets,
culture specific, small pocket, new kind of scenario that they've seen. So that is also working out for pan Indian films, I believe. But right now we are in a great space where it's all merging into one big Indian film industry.
But I see this total shift where like Bollywood kind of looked on Tollywood, or not Tollywood, but the Telugu film industry, the Tamil film industry, the South film industry, or any other for that matter in the country, are saying we are much bigger than you. But now recently that's really changed. I think with RRR sir doing that whole
started with Bahubali.
Bahubali, and that just changed their perspective. They're like, what just happened, and I don't only feel that's because of just big sets or big movies or big, but it was the story that was told. It was a story that was told. And I feel inherently in the South there are much better stories. They always want to tell a very nice story that people can relate to. Whether in Bollywood it's not that. It's just a very small story that gets over very quickly. I mean,
there have been like films like Three Idiots, PK, and obviously there are great. There is no doubt that there are.
They're all Amir Khan only. That's the problem. Three Idiots, PK, Lagan. That's also.
No, there are great stories in Bollywood also, and the way the visuals are shot, they've been beautiful always. But I think suddenly. Now you've been watching something since a long time and suddenly something new has been offered. Obviously you'll be drawn to it.
Of course.
And when the new is also good and interesting and it's quite intense, then obviously you'll be drawn to it. But I'm very happy that now it's all, like I said, it's merging into one big industry.
So also the perks which are involved as being an actor is of course fame and opening a lot of doors as well. But the downside is also you also become a target sometimes when it comes to controversy. And you also had your fair share of controversy as well
as many as possible.
So but is that a little bit of a challenge really? Like you have to always keep on being careful when you're outside mingling with common folk.
Yeah, I mean what you lose is what you have to be careful. There are two parts to it. One is if something goes wrong and you're there, then there's a lot of attention that obviously comes to you and then you have to deal with it. That is one part of it. The second part is, this is when it comes to media and obviously the institutions. The second part is a common man thinks he has a right in your life. Like whatever you do or say or anything, there are two parts to it, right? So one is obviously when the media and all of them putting you in a limelight, in a bad light, and the second is on social media and everything. People tend to, a common man tends to believe that he has a right to say anything to you. So those are two. Because of social media, this is there, and then that is the general media and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of tough, yes, but you've signed up for it. But I am in a position to say that, obviously I've been in many controversies and a lot of things have gone down in a very bad way. But I think we signed up for this and the perks are a lot more than this. So I think in any industry or any field that you are, obviously there are pros and cons. So I think you have to just deal with them carefully, that's all.
It's like the bigger the target, the more...
The softer the target. But in 20...
Like in class, in class, like... If there's a guy in the last bench that does some jhol, something, and then the teachers are all sitting in the teachers room, and then they're like, "Ye 6A mein kuch hua." They'll be like, "Oh, last bench wala wahi hai na."
That's always the thing.
But like sometimes don't you have to like worry about, I have to change my image sometimes, or you
have to be careful. Yes, like as a kid, like some of the stuff I did was really stupid, like drunken driving and voting without permission. All of that was really stupid of me. So and I was like, kya hoga dekh lenge, or I was not. See, till something happens only you can't realize. I was not. Like my dad and my parents keep telling me that you're a public figure, man. Be careful with what you do. So that is true. Obviously, you have to be careful with what you do.
And your life decisions also influence a lot of people as well.
Like a role model. You're like a role model for a lot of people, and they may like look at you and say, "Oh, he's doing it, so I can too."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I mean,
Yeah.
you can be a bad influence, but
Yeah.
right now I think people are too smart to.
Very smart.
Yeah, too smart to understand that what they will do, what they like, and then they'll say, ye bhi
because
hamara
of
hai."
you're just the blame game. They're doing what they actually want.
No, I mean, it's like that. If you say, then yes, I've done a lot of like good also, like,
Yeah, of course.
and then I've put myself in situations where I was really helpful for a lot of things and all of that. So people, I think, there are parents who will say that you are being a bad role model, but I think people in general are now quite smart to understand what is true and what is not.
Yeah. You love to travel, and can you tell us some of your favorite countries where you've traveled, and what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
I like the Himalayas more than any other place. Like, I
Yeah.
think there's a lot to see there.
Yeah.
And I like myself, I like the feeling I get when I go to the mountains. I'm a mountain person more than beaches. So I like going to the mountains, and my all-time favorite place would be the I mean, obviously the belt
Right.
would be Himalayas. And I recently tried skiing.
Right.
I really love that too. So yeah.
It's
I like cold weather basically.
It's like when you're in the mountains, you feel like I'm so tiny, I'm so minuscule in this.
You and everything you know, and all your problems, and all your beliefs, and all your logics, and all your principles are nothing, you feel.
Yeah. They say also is like if you're a mountain person or a beach person, it says a lot about your personality. It's like an introvert, extrovert sort of.
Which
Well,
one's-
I mean,
which
if
one
it's
is
a
the
mountain,
introvert?
it's an introvert, and if it's a beach,
I don't
an
know. I
extrovert.
don't know
I have
that.
no idea.
Yeah, no. So if you're a beach, you're an extrovert.
Oh yeah,
Because it's more
I love
fun.
beaches. I mean, but until I went to a mountain actually, and my wife, she's a mountain person, and she's the first time she took me to the mountain, and she was like, "Listen, enough of your beach stuff that we've done. Let's go to the mountain." I had the most wonderful time. I mean, it's actually quite surreal.
I do a lot of biking also, so
Yeah.
you can't bike on the beach. You can't bike much on the beach
You
more than the
can't, you
mountains.
can't.
So I
What's
think-
it about bikers? I've never understood this. I've never been a biker, but there's something about bikers where they're like, I don't care about the risk. It's just something very
I think
freeing.
I mean, there are different kinds of bikers.
Okay.
So, I mean, if there are people who just want to get like 1,000, 1,500, 1,200 cc sports bike and go around in the city making that
What a
noise,
waste.
making that noise. So, I'm not that kind of a biker. As a kid, I was like obviously sports bike. Once I became an actor, I bought a sports bike like a 640 something Honda,
Okay.
and I was roaming around Jubilee Banjara Hills. And then once I didn't fall, but there was a small in front of Melting Moon there's a small
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a hump,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
this thing
Oh,
that
it
comes.
jumps.
So it slightly went airborne, and then there was a
Oh,
shake, and I
no.
went home, removed the helmet, and I was like, if something happened, the minimum would have been a fracture. Boss, your body is your
Everything.
your everything. You can't. And I sold that bike off. But the biking we do is completely different.
Okay.
That comes with being an outdoor person, and then liking the mountains, and then liking camping, and liking to go to places where there are no signals and by yourself, and you're by yourself, and there is also an adrenaline rush, and there's not much of risk involved. It's never about speed. Our off-roading, the biking that we do, people think that it is quite risky and all of that, but it's not really. I mean, yes, obviously there is a risk involved in any
Anything.
aero sport or any like sports with obviously
Crossing the road is
or
also a
anything,
risk.
risky. But we have a lot of we tend to have a lot of training, and we wear all the gear, and it's not about just going from point A to point B, but it's more like finding routes that have that are quite tough to cross, and then it's like you go first, a biker crosses, and then the rest of them are waiting for him, and there is a lot of falls, but the falls are like you're trying to maneuver something and you just fall over there, you stand up, and then it's more about developing the skill and trying to see how we cross some patches and all of that. It's never about speed.
I have a cousin who's also an avid biker. He drove from Jaipur all the way to England. And so
Oh,
he did
wow.
that long
Yeah,
thing. And he said he had the BMW Superbike. And he said while he was crossing, I think, the Turkey or something, and he saw some mountains, beautiful thing. He started crying while going. And he said this is something which only bikers will understand. It's a very meditative sort of a...
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So which bike do you use to do this?
I had the 900 Rally Pro, which I used in my film, but that got totaled.
Oh no.
So now I have a GS 1250.
Okay,
I think
nice.
1250 GS is one of the best
The
bikes.
BMW.
BMW 1250 GS is the best thing that stands on two wheels.
Okay.
And you have a pylon usually, someone sitting behind? Or
Off-road usually we don't prefer to, because you and the bike have to move in a certain way, and then when there's someone sitting in the back, it doesn't really work like that. But if I had to take someone and I had no choice, it would be my sister, because she's a devil. She just sits. I don't understand how she does it. So she's like a small personality. she's used to it since like we were kids, right? So she sits and she hugs herself to the bike, and like I don't need to think about her. She just sticks to the bike, and the bike and me are still one. So we did 4 days of Manali to Leh.
Okay.
In a very like a tough not Manali to Leh, I think Leh to Leh, through some passes, and she had fun. She was just sitting there, put her the gear, and she'll still sit in the back. We have the intercoms and we talk about stuff and we keep driving. So yeah, I can't take anyone else. If it's anyone, it's my sister riding pillion.
But also with fame, there's also female attention comes a lot.
Yeah.
Do you
I
enjoy
thought
it?
fame meant female attention.
But do you
Of course I enjoy it.
But do you feel the attention is very superficial, where it's very much just like they're attracted towards you,
Yeah, again, there are
the actor, or are they not really seeing who you are as a person inside?
Again, there are two ways of it. Yeah,
Do you
first,
want that? Is the
primarily-
question.
We want all kinds of. We want all kinds of. Yeah, it's also superficial, and it's also sometimes. I mean, I would say right now because of social media. So previously, when I like an actor, it's because I like his films, or I like the way how he looks, and I like the way he plays his characters.
Yeah.
It's only about on screen. But right now in 2023, it's not just about that. It's about your presence on social media and what you say and what you tweet and what your posts are. Everything. They're seeing everything now.
Yeah.
So right now it's more like you'd say superficial is also there, but it's previously only that used to be there. Like I like you, but I don't know what kind of person you are.
Who are you? Yeah.
Like I don't even know nothing about you, but I just like your films. I like the way you look. I'm batshit crazy about you. But now it's not like that. Now I think more than I could say, like it is true. I think in my case, more than the films and more than what I am on screen, I think if there are people who are liking me, it's because of my social media. It's because of what I'm talking right now, what I'm saying right now. But say they can see through your personality unlike before. I think now.
So this time, today is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day to all the single guys who are thinking they're in a relationship. That's what a friend tweeted today.
So talking about social media and Valentine's Day, you made a very special post. That was hilarious for everybody. Can you please tell us what it was? And
So
what went
actually a
through?
friend of mine posted it and I saw it and it's like funny. I like to troll people. I'm a troller myself. People like actors get a lot of trolling done, but I'm a troll myself. Not troll exactly, but I would say that like I'm
Like to play pranks.
I like humor. I go in search of humor, so I just try to crack jokes.
Is it more on the dark humor side you like? Or?
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds.
So, coming to humor, what do you think about marriage? Because you must be
I
very
think it's
humorous.
hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
Is
I have nothing. Like I said, anti-crowd frenzy. Everyone is getting married because, oh my God, I'm 25. Oh my God, I'm 30. Oh my God, I'm 35. I don't think. So, there are two things here. For everything, there are two things. I don't know why I keep saying that. So, for example, God and marriage. I'm not against the concept as such, but I'm against how people are treating it. So that's why I don't like it. Like
It
I
feels
keep
like it's a
saying-
compulsion.
Some people say, I mean, I don't understand. Like you're going to the temple for all the wrong reasons. You're getting married for all the wrong reasons, but not what it was intended to be. You find someone, you like them, and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, then you can do it without involving the government in it, right? So yeah, but
But the girl sometimes wants a security.
no, 100%. Yeah. So security means you are insecure, no?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to be. I mean, it's not that easy. I'm not saying people should not get married and just live together. That doesn't work in the society. Obviously, parents and all of that is fine. But me, when I see people getting married because of some other reason, my grandmom is going to die. She wants to see my wedding before I die. My grandmom, she's like almost like she's
You
not.
can call it to the film set and just make sure of that.
Yeah, she's like, I want to see. My grandmom said that to me. Like, I want to see
Same.
before I die. I said, you might die, mom, but you can't. You're not going to see. No, so I think, people, because I'm 30, or because of all the reasons that they keep telling me, I have some kind of like, I'm not against it. Obviously, it'll happen. It's going to happen. It'll happen at some point, but not. But I want to understand that people are doing it for the right reasons. Like, I don't see that happening around.
Have
much.
you ever come close?
No.
Never. Okay. And
Any
I
plans
mean,
in the
all the
future,
time,
or?
in all the time, and all the women you would have met with all your fame and for everything, you never came close. Like never.
The closest I came was they asking me to marry me. No.
He's a very, very
Okay.
free-spirited person.
No, I guess he hasn't found the right.
No, like I
one
also
yet,
think
you
the
know.
same about you as well. I thought like you will stay away from marriage for a while, but it's good.
Right
that-
now I'm bent. I'm working on building myself up first. I
Yes.
think that is still going to take time.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with I'm 36 now. Nothing.
No,
It
it
has
should
nothing to
not,
do
like,
with.
yeah.
So yeah, I want to build myself up first and then see.
Okay.
Now, if I'm jumping into deep waters
Yeah.
without knowing how to swim,
Yeah.
why will I take another person who doesn't know how to
How to
swim,
swim,
and
exactly.
jump? Even if they know how to swim, I'm
Yeah,
not going
yeah.
to be a pylon to them. No?
100%. Yeah.
There was another.
First, let me learn how to swim, then I'll jump.
There was also another thing which you brought up about God as well. I think you're one of the very few people who are very vocally atheist as well. Why did you even?
I have nothing against the concept or the system or anything, but when they told me that you have to go to the temple and do certain things, like I said, people and how they're dealing with it is what turned not against. I'm not against it, but I don't understand like why people have to be
Like so much enmity amongst the society because of on the
if
name
I
of
had
God.
to say,
or
yeah,
how
if
you
I
pray
had to like
God.
write down things about what has religion done, what good has religion done till now, and I look around since my childhood, it's very hard to find
Any positives?
any positives, and they say that, oh no, this man is a religious man, but he has done this good, etc., etc. That is him. That's not his religion. He would have done it no matter what his religion was. So all the good that I've seen happening in the name of religion, whatever few, how much ever little it is, it's because of the men,
Person.
not because of men, women, whatever. Not the person, the humanity in him or the empathy in him, but not the religion. But of course, all the religious books are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
They all are saying the same exact thing, that have empathy, help another fellow human being, etc., etc. But these religious leaders or whatever the followers are doing anything but that. So now I'm against the concept of a religion.
It's
That
a
is my problem.
religion-
People are my problem, not religion.
Yeah. Religion is now politicized. You know, that's what it
Heavily.
is. Like
Heavily.
that's, and they are using it as their own, you know, kind of
When
agenda.
the interpretation of a concept is going so wrong,
Yeah.
we should ignore the concept, is my
Correct.
point. The bottom line is that.
Yeah.
The concept is great.
Yeah.
It's a great concept.
Yeah.
I
It
think
is
it-
supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are interpreting it in a wrong way and then using it for your own good and will.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'm ignoring the concept. No, it
Of
doesn't
course.
work for me
Of
anymore.
course.
Thank you, goodbye.
Yeah,
और क्या कर सकते?
So according to you, is there a utopian society where, you know, there may be people who, this is the way we should live, like rather than, no, okay, we
I
are
have been reading this thing called. I have been reading that we are in the beginning stages of a collective awakening of humanity on Earth.
Right.
I think it's a very deep
Like what Osho
subject
tried to
and a
achieve.
topic.
Yeah.
But I think collectively we are. I mean, it could be because. A part because of the internet bringing everyone together,
Yeah.
or it could be because of the scientists yelling out loud that, hey boys, the earth is going in a wrong direction, you are going to, you
destroy
have to you have to come together and do something about it. Previously, to each, I mean, like few cultures were with them, few religions were with them, few areas and countries, they were all among themselves.
Yeah.
And whatever was being taught to them, they were like in that little well.
Yeah.
But now because of the internet, the whole world is one place.
Yes.
Now a 10-year-old will tell you that you're wrong,
Right.
no matter who you are, because he has the information of the internet.
Correct.
And now they're all like, obviously we were evolving. Collectively, I think we have more information, access to knowledge.
Yes.
And now kids are being have the consciousness to say this is right or this is wrong.
Yeah.
And they are all over the country, all over the world. They are fighting that you're not doing anything about climate change, for example, as one concept.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting better now.
I feel climate change is, such a big concept, and in India it's not accepted at all.
It is true, but
Yeah.
it is. What is happening right now is we are already facing the wrath of climate change and lot of
floods and-
everything is. We are beyond already, and now if we can't act and we don't act, then.
I mean, the sad part about Turkey currently that has, about
Earthquakes,
30 earthquake and 30,000 people already killed.
Even right now at home, if you see Himachal or Uttarakhand,
Yeah.
most of the landslides and the mishaps that are happening are because of human intervention,
Correct.
because of the dam projects and because of the roads and because of all the construction. They're already saying that.
Yeah.
So right in our doorstep, it's happening. The floods in Kerala, they said it is because of every natural mishap that is happening. They are already connecting it to climate change. So I think it's about time we.
Yeah, it's very weird also because like just recently it came in the news that the core of the Earth stopped rotating,
slowing down or something.
and I was like, people have no idea. All these scientists we put all our
we've seen this on like
a chunk of the sun.
Those movies 2012 and all of that. Earth is stopped
Yeah. Also,
rotating.
when it comes to like countries and governments, how they want to survive or how they want to rule is by being better off than their neighbor,
Right.
or being even now obviously
Yeah.
better off than their neighbor and one up to the other countries.
Yeah.
But now I think as humans we are starting to understand that that's not how it's going to work. All of us
Correct.
together have to live on earth.
Yes.
So there is this, I think slowly there will be a massive paradigm shift in the thought process.
Well, I mean, hopefully that happens soon.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. And another thing is that I would consider myself left to center, and he considers himself right to center. What would you consider yourself as a political viewpoint?
I think center would be a good.
Center would be a good point.
Oh,
Okay.
there's only sheep are neutral. There has to be a certain bias.
Yeah.
Like I said, my views about politics is instead of like I just said, no,
Yes,
instead
yes.
of being one up than the other
Right.
competitor. I mean, stop looking at other countries or other people as competitors, but we need to understand that Earth as a home, we need to look at it as a camping spot that has been taken from the future, and we have to give it back to the future.
Yeah, give it to our
That's
children,
what
yeah.
I think right now the whole world, all the politicians need to stop for a second and think about survival as human beings, not just as surviving as a country better than the next other country. That's my.
Yeah, there are many people who also think the opposite. They just think that, hey, I'm on this earth for a limited time. Let me just mine whatever.
Then
blow
stop
up.
getting married and having kids.
Yeah,
That also works. Don't have kids. Then. Don't have kids. Arre, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, capital of this great country, the school kids have been warned not to step out of the house because there's
Pollution.
no oxygen. I mean, what else should happen for you to wake up?
Yeah.
और क्या हो सकता है? Like,
Yeah.
Children are the future of this country. Okay, they're asking what not. That's dystopian times, man. That's like a Hollywood film. Like you don't go out of the house because there's no oxygen. Don't go to school. बोले तो और क्या है?
Yeah.
What else you're supposed to do?
I mean, like you said, dystopian and like unreal was 3 years ago, COVID, and really destroyed a lot of people's lives. Really made somebody else's lives also, not like nobody made money. How was it for you? What did you go through?
I think it changed me completely as a person.
Right.
I used to believe that I think a lot of people would, a lot of people I've spoken to also agree with this, and similar things have happened to them. I used to believe that house is a place where you just park the body and then you have to wake up in the morning, go out and achieve something.
Yes.
There is no sitting down. There is no... Now when I say this, it's more about physical materialistic thing called the house, but what it actually meant is within me, like every morning I used to wake up and like, okay, I have to run, I have to go out.
Yes.
Like physically go out of the house.
Yeah.
Mentally not even go in, but just outside, there is something outside. I have to,
Workaholic.
I don't have this, I have to achieve this, and everything was about going out.
You got it.
But when I go in, I meant like I sitting down and waking up in the morning and asking myself, "Arey, how are you feeling? What is your emotion?
Right.
What do you want in life?" So there was always a run about तेरे को ये नहीं है, तेरे को you have to get something, you have to achieve something. This is what you are meant to do. This is what you are told to do.
Yeah.
This is what you think you are telling yourself.
Yeah.
But if I sit down and ask myself, "Arey, what do you want? What don't you have?" I'm fine.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, सब ठीक है. But we create something that so and so is not
More.
existing.
We want more.
More. You
Yeah.
have to go out. You
It's
have to
a
go more. So
capitalistic,
that completely changed me as a person, I could say. And I had gone through a sort of a mental breakdown slash kind of a depression for a very short while, for a couple of months.
What was that like?
That was I realized that every morning or my life I've been telling my conscious has been telling my subconscious that there is something lacking.
Yeah.
Bottom line is there is something lacking.
Yeah.
You don't have something.
Yeah.
But if I sat down and really sat through and understood, I have everything.
Of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that defined my life, no?
Yeah.
So every morning you're like, I don't have this. I think most of the people are going through this journey. That's what I meant by we are collectively, evolving, or subconscious is developing, I think.
Because you're learning that, like, it's the simplest things in life we forget.
Everybody
now.
has everything.
Yeah, everybody has.
What they don't have is just what they're telling themselves.
It's what XYZ person has told you that the next step is this.
Exactly.
Or you need to get an Oscar.
See,
Otherwise,
but it's not as simple as, you have everything, you'll relax in life. No, you have to work for something. You have to work for something. There is, obviously, as an actor, I need a commercial hit. As an actor, I need to look better. I need better films to come out. I need more people to watch my film. I need more money. It's all there. That's fine. That's what you're working for. That's one part of your life.
Yeah.
But that can't be your first emotion in the morning. You wake up and, oh my God, I don't have this. That is depression.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That a lot of people don't realize, I believe. So I realized that, and that's why I would call myself sorted.
Did you have somebody's help, or you realized that on your own?
I had a lot of help. I went through a bad breakup, and then I was part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through a bad breakup, and then that was, I was struggling, and then there was an order. See, basically in COVID, what happened was, you are sitting at home not doing anything.
Right.
That means you are forced to sit with your thoughts.
Correct.
That's where shit hit the roof.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are not stopping to think. You're waking up, I'm going out, I'm doing this.
Finish, yeah.
Okay, you're either partying, or you're either working, or you're either just spending time or doing what you like. So there is no moment where you're sitting for a second and thinking, "Arey boss, what is your emotion? How you're feeling?"
Yeah, introspection is
is not there. So that started, and then from there I went in, and then I had some help with my what do you call, my emotional state. My friend's mom, she made me do some meditation and cleansing and all of that.
Right.
So that worked.
Yeah.
And I think that's where if I have to tell people who are kind of unhappy, or they ask me for, they have this severe dissatisfaction about their life, I would ask them to just sit for a second and
meditate.
I mean, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's a very tough, not tough, but it's
easier
it's a
said
whole
than done.
world. Yeah, it's a whole world by itself. Yeah. But if you think of it, everyone has everything already.
But also, you're a gym freak as well, and did that also, is that helped you in your meditative phase as well, going to the gym?
Of course, having a routine and doing the same thing, or putting yourself in a positive dopamine chase kind of scenario will help you.
Of course.
100%.
And what is meditation to you? Because somebody just says that you just clear your mind, and it's just not easy said than done.
It's not easy. You need help.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll definitely need some support and help. It's a very, very, very. I think in one word, meditation is the answer for everything.
Okay.
Very spiritual you become, I must say.
Would you count yourself as a spiritual person? How spiritual?
It's a journey. I think I just opened that door up, and I'm just taking the first step into it.
Okay, lovely.
Is there any particular person you follow as such? Any guru or any books or something like that?
Books, I have read a bunch of books, but there are a lot of books on meditation. And I would like to say, I'm not going to get too much into it, because I'm just learning myself. But if you're looking for an answer for anything, meditation is your answer.
Meditation is the answer. Yoga
I've not done. Not done
yet. But in order to wrap things up, it was a very nice, deep interview. What would you say you think is the current film fraternity, which you're in, the Telugu film fraternity? How is that? What is the chemistry between everyone? Is everyone very supportive? Or how do you see the future of this industry as well coming along?
Only Telugu, you mean, or in general?
Or in general.
I have seen a little bit of Tamil film industry and Hindi and Telugu. And all my friends would agree, and all my friends from Telugu and also people who come from outside agree that we are one of the most friendliest industry. Yeah. And
there's no,
of course,
competition.
There is no. There is competition, obviously, but there's no. But from what I have seen, the little I have seen, I think our generation of actors and are the most friendliest, and then we're all we have groups
mutual
and stuff,
respect.
and then mutual respect, and we're all we chill together and all of that.
So friends more than anything else, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
And some advice also to somebody who wants to come into the industry. What would be your advice to them?
As actors?
As actors, yes.
Don't let it affect you.
Yeah.
Like probably don't let this be the only thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But first of all, primarily learn the craft.
Yeah.
Like don't just come because you want to be, or don't just come because it's cool.
Yeah.
So it's a craft.
Yeah.
Don't become a joke if you come. It's a craft. Learn something, come and then have a certain, dedicate certain time for it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at this as bread and butter only, and then you're like, yeah, if it doesn't work, I'm not going to do anything else. That generation is gone.
Yeah.
So don't, kind of waste your time like that. But learn the craft, have a job, have a life,
Yeah.
and then do this as passion. And because no one knows how long it's going to take.
Got it.
Like I'm still like it's been 18 years. I still need that commercial. break.
Always learning.
So it's always learning, and then it's a passion. It's a passion. It's a job that comes with a lot of hard work, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Navdeep, for
you,
doing
thank
this
you,
with
thank
us.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.